see my shadow. Never mind.
Oh, you don't like that?
Not really.
You don't fuck with your shadow. You're scared of your shadow. Wow. My back hurts. Hey. I feel like no matter when you think of that kind of like question, you think like, would I switch my life to be like richer or like maybe have a healthier family, or just be richer in ways that aren't even like materialistic, and kind of like how Fabian talks about in like Beauty DVD, how there's beauty in everything, you know, and it kind of might sound ignorant like to some people who have like a really bad like beginning half of their life and stuff, but when you put it into the perspective that like you can find beauty in a lot of things, like me, when I was younger, I lived in the garage of this house with like my whole family, and we shared everything, and I would like go to work with my parents every day after school, after Mar Vista. My mom would pick me up late, I would go to work with her, and I wouldn't change that because it gives me more of like an appreciation for like things in general, and like I value a lot of the stuff in my life more now, you know, and also just in general, like when it comes to more like harder topics other than like poverty and stuff, like maybe you had like a bad upbringing. A lot of like your favorite artists, music artists, actors and stuff, like, you know, they had bad upbringings, but they end up making art that comes out beautiful and like relatable for someone who's going through something similar. And I think that like just in general, like switching your life with somebody else wouldn't give you like all the same experiences that you've had, because you don't know what to expect when you like live a certain life, or like when you're just brought into a life like unknowing. So I feel like I would like not switch my life with anybody. I would still live here in Oxnard, grow up the same, go through high school the same, and whatever's to come, I would probably do it all the same. For me, I'm gonna have to say Young Bro. In general, I love Young Bro so much. Like, I love his music. I'm gonna call him Lil Tracy, but I'm specifically talking about his Young Bro era because I don't really like his like newer music. Like, not me. It's just like, I don't know. I think the reason I always like liked his music so much is because like when I first listened to it, like I had never like found something that I had like resonated with so much. Like he's like a very confident person, and well, something about me is I really hate people that are, what's the word, Vivian? Pretentious. I fucking hate pretentious ass people, because I feel like when you're pretentious, you're always just trying to be something different, and you're always just trying to shame others for not being different. And I don't like that at all, because then you just become a sheep. Like, you're trying to shame people for not being different or whatever you perceive as different. And but the reason I say that is because the next thing I'm gonna say is gonna sound, I don't want it to sound pretentious or anything, but I always grew up like dressing however I wanted or doing like what I want with my style, even though people would tell me like it would like I would look better a certain different type of way. And so when I heard his music, like it honestly just resonated with me so much, because he talks about how he's gonna do whatever he wants, no matter what, like who thinks a certain way of him. Because when he was barely like starting and shit, he was emo as fuck and feminine, and like in rap, that's not really like acceptable or like the mainstream. And now that's become more like of a popular like thing in the rap community. But yeah, I think that's why I really like him a lot, because he just makes me feel so much more confident in myself. And not only that, but he talks about other things like racism, spirituality, drugs, and like and love, I guess. Like he talks about like a lot of topics that, and then on top of that, he does it with experimental like ways, like in sounds. Like I've never heard anyone sound like the way he does, and especially like to be that creative is like crazy to me. Like I don't know how someone could be that creative, because when I'm writing an essay or something, I'm like, damn, like fuck, I ain't shit. Like I don't know how to say shit or put it into words. Like, and just the flow of things is just so incredible. I love it. So that's why I love Young Bro. Shout out Young Bro. Back then, when I was younger and stuff, like when I was 13, because I'm 16 now, I would think about that all the time, like constantly. I think I ended up developing, like, I finally found the term for it recently, existential, like OCD, because I have OCD, and I think that's what I have is like existential OCD, because I would get so caught up in the idea of like finding out and what like is coming after, and it would scare me, and it still does scare me. Like I'll be there laying in my room at night sometimes, and I'll be like, damn, like what's gonna happen after this?
Yeah.
I think what does happen is honestly, I don't know, and I think that our purpose is to not know, because if you know something's set, you're not gonna want to like. It's not the same. You're just expecting it. If we knew at the end of this we would go to heaven, we're gonna go out here doing like bad shit. Everyone's gonna come out doing whatever they want, like. And if you knew you were gonna go to hell ultimately, you're just gonna do even more bad shit. You're just gonna do whatever the fuck you want. You know what I mean? And there would be like no order. And I think that's another reason we don't know like what happens after we die. We could go to heaven and stuff, or you could. I think also something my cousin would tell me is it's about your beliefs and what you put your beliefs into. If you believe in manifestation and stuff, whatever you believe in, that could like become reality. You know, when you're dead, you're gonna go to whatever avenue you think you're going to.
Yeah.
For me, I personally think that we reincarnate because, as you guys know, probably, energy like can't die and shit. And I genuinely believe that. I think that we will reincarnate, but I think that you have a choice. Like if you want to reincarnate, kind of like in the movie Soul. Like when I saw that movie, I thought of it like that. Like you know, if you want to like relive and shit. And I think that I do think that we will reincarnate, but if that's what you choose to do, I think every night I'll think of that. Not every night, but I'll think like, would I want to reincarnate? And shit, I low-key would not want to. There's like a lot of things I would not want to experience. There's like so many bad things that I would not want to go through. But there's also at the end of the day like a lot of other beautiful things I could go through too. Like I don't know, maybe I could travel the world or experience life as like a pilot. I don't know, just like random shit like that. Like I would want to reincarnate. Even as like an animal. Like I feel like that would
What
be
type
cool.
of animal?
What type of animal? I think I want to be like. I think I'd want to be like in another universe, like something like that's powers or some shit. Like I don't know, just something. I always have dreams of like having superpowers, and they feel so fucking real. Like sometimes I'll wake up thinking I'm like damn, like low key, do I have something? Like maybe I have some powers or some shit. Another thing I would want to talk about is like dreams and shit. Like, do you think dreams are spiritual, or do you think dreams are more like related to like your subconscious mind? I think it could be both, honestly. I feel like I don't know. It depends if you believe in like spirit guides and stuff, or like if your loved ones are watching over you. And sometimes I'll see a monarch like flying by, and I'll think it's like my grandpa. Like. Maybe not even just him in the butterfly, but him sending that to me to know that like he's around. And a lot of my cousins say that, and it's so weird because none of my cousins ever had like there's no correlation between my grandfather and a monarch butterfly, but like every single one of my cousins like says it. It's like so weird. Maybe it's because we live in like SoCal and like we all see monarch butterflies, and that's like a common butterfly to see, so we just try and resonate it with my grandpa.
Yeah.
Or that could be subconscious, or it could be him, you know. You never know. But I think that's something nice too, like to maybe bring me peace of mind that he's watching over me. But unless I'm doing some like bad shit, and I'm like, I just see a fucking butterfly fly past me, and I'm like, I take that shit down. But also think that a lot of the stuff that like happens in our dreams and shit, it could be subconscious, because I think it's really like what's weighing on you a lot of the time. Like your mind's asking for help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It could be that. But unless you have like some random ass weird dream and you're just like, I don't know, it's just like weird ass dream, like you're fucking naked, like running around. Like that could just be like a random ass dream. I think I told you, like So I was at lunch and like at school, and then I saw, and I was just like it got to a point.
Wait, was this recent?
Yeah, this was at the second to last day of school. Like he had stopped talking to me, like, and I didn't really understand why. Because I was like, bruh, but I know that's how he is, and he just like isn't like the type of person that's like if you don't text them, they'll never text you again, bro. Because he has really bad anxiety, and I knew him like that well to know, like I know for a fact, like it's something like that. But it's just like it gets to a point where like if you're giving your all to somebody, like, and you're not getting that shit back, like what's the point? And
it's tiring because it's so like one-sided.
But it's kind of like also a hard thing to talk about, like picking like a certain view on it, because like at the same time, should I be fighting for that friendship? Like what if he ends up saying like, oh, like, well, you weren't the one that tried hard enough to fight for the friendship, but I have been trying to fight for the friendship, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so so I was just sitting there at the table, and I was like, you know what, I'm not even gonna say hi to him in person anymore, because he can't even text me. I'm not even gonna say hi to him in person, basically not even friends. And I just seen him, and he literally does not fucking say hi to me. And I'm like, this fucking bitch, like, what? That shit genuinely made me so mad. And then I just, like, I got up, and I was like, yo, like, you see me right here, sitting right fucking next to you, and you can't even say hi? Like, that's so weird, you know what I mean? And, like, I'm literally, like, your best friend. Like, why can't you even say hi to me if I don't say it first? And he just, like, to be honest, Rhianna, it's because you intimidate me. And I was like, bruh, like, honestly, it's annoying. I really hate when people say stuff about that to me, because before they never said it, but a lot of people tell me now that like, oh, they're intimidated by me, or that I look ghetto, or like just other shit like that, and it honestly pisses me off so bad, because like to hear it from my own best friend say that to me out of like all these people, like he like even came to this like fucking conclusion about me that I was like intimidating, like, bro, you can talk to me about anything. And so I just was like, you do know, like, there's so much stuff happening in my life right now, and you see me posting it, because like, at the time, I wasn't single, so I had posted someone, and like we would talk about that a lot, like just couples and stuff and love, because I literally went through puberty with this boy. Like literally, I was there before his fucking ball dropped. Like that's why he was like, I want you to slide up, or I want you to be like, how are you doing, or that's cool, and not a damn thing. You can't even fucking say hi to me in person. Like that was weird. And he just like was like, I promise you, it has nothing to do with you, and I'll explain it to you, and this and that. And I was like, okay. I wait like a couple minutes. I like walk away, and he texts me and he's like, let me know when you can hang out with me in person so we can talk about it. And I was like, I can't go out that much because my parents like are very specific like about letting me out. So I was like, I don't want to waste like one of my salitas on like going to talk to him about that stuff, and I know I'm gonna end up forgiving him. So I wanted him to like tell me again, like in text, like what happened, like why did it go south. And he was like, he never talked to me after that. After I said, oh, okay, but I'm down to talk about it, but just in text. He never texted me again.
Really?
After that, to this day, he has not texted me, and it's just so sad to me. And later, I found out. Okay, so recently I found out his cousin had basically told me the reason he stopped being friends with me is because he said that he saw me going down like a path of like doing bad shit and doing drugs and getting drunk, and that he didn't want to. I don't know. He said that he just felt like he was losing me, and honestly, I understand where he was coming from because, yeah, like, you know, I honestly have never held it against anybody, like, in my life to try and correct me, or, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you weren't there for me, or because you saw me doing that shit and you didn't try and make me stop. I'm never going to do that to somebody. I'm never going to try and say it's your fault. But why would you leave me if you saw me struggling? Instead of not even, like, paying mind to it, you fucking, like, just stop talking to me like that. You know, I was going through so much at that time, and, like, he just dropped me. Like, did he think that was gonna help me, like, quit or some shit?
Exactly. You didn't even try anything.
Like,
it's like, it was kind of selfish in a way to, like, what's the word, to distance himself. Because it was more so he was thinking about himself. He was like, I don't want to get into that shit. Exactly. But it was like he wasn't seeing it as, like, helping you get out of it. Even if, like, he knew, because, like, Because everyone has like free will and shit, and it's like no one's gonna stop you, but at the same time he could still be there for you.
Exactly. And